Hello, you buggers. Here we are with Mouldy Nub Part 3. As you can see, I've prepped another mould just in case this one isn't quite how I want it to be. That's okay. It's all experimentation. I should just be able to get this in one go, but it has been quite a long time since I've done any moulding. Hence the state of my silicon. So we're just going to gently prise it apart, and sometimes not quite so gently. Ooh. Oh, it's exciting. Trying to keep this in frame as much as I can. I do have a tendency to wander off, so you end up not seeing anything. Right, it's coming, it's coming. Oh no! There's a bit where it didn't work. So yeah. Mould number 3. Oh no, mould number 2 will be on its way. Let's pull these hedgehoggy spikes out, and I'll show you where it didn't work. Basically my fault. And there's some nasty gunks of white bit of silicon in there. Yeah, so this is all fine because that's got the little plug that I want for the centre. But these two, as you can see, I didn't do it right. I didn't get the silicon in there enough, and I've got great big air bubbles there, so useless. Now I could, if I wanted to, just keep this bit, build it up again and remold that top, but let's not. Let's just pop these out. Let's see what they look like. Ooh. Well, these are looking nice. There you go. These look nice. So the other thing is, of course, I've got a mould here, where I'd have to drill out the core. But the other thing about having a two-part mould is the way these are shaped. They have a dip in here, so when you're putting your pots on your pick guard, you know, there's a nut that holds it in place, and that dip in the knob is just to allow for that. If I fill this mould up with something and cast them, I'd have to drill the hole for the centre and then countersink it somewhat, just so there's some space for the nut. But you know, we'll give that a try and see how we get on with that. Yeah, this I think is just going to go in the bin. It's horrible. There you go, it's gone. Put my knobs to one side. Nothing wrong with them. I can clean them up, use them again. Remember this one? This was the mould for the other knobbage I was doing, and here's an example of what it is. It's just a bolt Yeah. So I put it in so you can see what happened. There's a bolt that's just like encapsulated inside all this resin. So that was just moulded like that, you know, with a washer, which won't fit now. It needs cleaning up. But there was a washer in there that was just holding that off the silicone. This little flange nut was sitting on top, and so yeah, you just fill up the mould, push the bolt in, and just let it sit, and out it pops. You know, it's not the greatest moulding or casting. I never really expected it to be. I never really tried to make it a good one. But there you go. I've made 2 of these, or 3 of these. 2 of these are already on my camera rig. So it's great. I can just like cinch it up if it needs tightening. Right. How exciting! Another video of Duncan mixing stuff. We can't get enough videos of Duncan mixing stuff. Right. So I've got the Epoxy. I'm going to give that a go because I haven't used this before, and I like to see how this is going to cast up. It's not really designed for casting. It's more of a finishing resin, but hell, you know, resin is resin. Now this is the 30-minute formula stuff. It says so right there. You can get it 5-minute. Now I got this really for grain filling and finishing off the back of the kitchen strap. So you know, 30 minutes seems like a fair amount of time for it to for workability. Alright. Now you get a lot of air bubbles in it when you're mixing it up. You know, these knobs are a lot bigger than you think. I just mixed up a tiny amount. I'm going to have to mix up some more. That's alright. That gives me a chance for experimentation. I'm going to try a few different techniques. So I'm just working it into all the little grooves in the knob. I've got a bit of stick in there now. Thank you. You don't want a splinter of wood in your knob. That would be bad. I'm just painting it. I use the word painting very loosely because it's just slapping it in with a stick. But I'm just like coating the surface. Right. Now then, I've got some sawdust. No, it's not sawdust. Where's the sawdust? There's the sawdust. It's rosewood and pine. That famous combination. I'm just going to pour some in. I'm going to mix that in. Let's just get a little selfie stick. Yeah, I mean, the thought behind this was that I would actually mix it in with the resin before you pour it, so it's making it rather difficult to work with. Okay, let's go hell for leather here. Now, I've got a feeling that when this dries, it won't give us a nice powdery woody look. It will just be a shiny solid brown lump. That's all part of the experimentation, to see what we can do with our mould once we got it. Stuff has definitely got that epoxy smell. So now getting away from what this is. Alright, that's that one full. And just mix up some more. Something like running out of this stuff before you even get to use it for what you actually bought it for. Alright, now this stuff isn't exactly cheap. It's quite expensive. Unlike the polyester resin you can just get from a car shop. No, never mind. So this has got a few dregs of splinter, the powder in there. I'm going to try the old powder paint. Gone for a nice bright green. While that's going in there, I'm going to try with the one I'd already started to fill. Let's see. Just give it a little squidge. So that would be kind of a translucent, maybe it will give it a marble effect. But you know it won't, because things just don't work out right. You know, you get lots of tutorials on YouTube of people showing you how to do things. I do videos on how not to do things. because we've never done them before. And you're getting to see, yeah, people do videos of how to do things. You know, they've done it before, and they show you how they do it. I seem to be doing videos of things I haven't done, and nobody else has ever done. Green and orange. What colour does that make, guys? Sludge, basically. Brown. Now you can just see in the mould that the epoxy is just dipping down slightly, and you just want to fill it up till the it just sits slightly above the rim, so there'll be a slight bump that you can sand back. Just want this last bit out. In there. Right, well we'll put that to one side and see how it goes. See you later. Right, these have gone off, not entirely, you know, but enough to remove from the mould. There's a little bit just there, just the little odd bits. Right, so let's have a look. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. There's a couple of air bubbles. Which one was this? Can't remember which one was which. Right. Oops. Losing the camera. So the real trick will be working the material. Working the material into all the grooves and nooks and crannies. Ah, now then, that's quite interesting. That's quite a nice look. See, that I was pulling these out thinking, well, there's nothing really that interesting about them. Why would you mould your knob? But that's an interesting thing that's going on there. A little translucent look, and then you've got something, bit of colour on the inside. That's interesting. Kind of reminds me of, yeah, some of the knobs you see on Les Pauls, except they look nicer. They do look nicer. Right. What do you think? We'll see. I'm not entirely convinced this is a process that's actually worth doing. Not entirely convinced. Maybe if I can come up with something that's an idea that's interesting, maybe you guys will have an idea what to shove in the mould. See what we can get. Yeah. I think that's the more important thing than trying to get a really decent mould at the minute, is try and find something that actually looks appealing. I mean, that does look a little bit like cheap, crappy, plasticky kind of thing. It's not really what you want to find on a nice guitar, but Maybe. I mean, it's a really horrible green. I don't think that helps. But anyway, that's the end of Mouldy Knob Part 3. Will there be a Part 4? Maybe if we're having some ideas, or maybe if I come up with something to get a really nice look casting, then maybe there will be. But for now, that's the end of Mouldy Knob.